And so when Trump came down the escalator in 2016 and said, look, we need to build a wall and keep these people out, they're a problem, everybody said, finally, that's what we're thinking, and that's how we talk, and that's what we're saying, and that's what we want for our country. That was the winning formula, and it delivered Trump the election. But then, like I said, for the past 10 years, we have not gotten that. We've gotten something else. And what we're getting is stapling green cards to diplomas. Last week, in an interview, Trump goes out and says Americans don't have talent. He says, we need the people. We need them. We need Korean engineers. We need Indian programmers. We need the Chinese to come to our universities. Remember that? How quickly people forget. 2 weeks ago, we have arguably the worst interview I think I've ever heard from Trump. It's like he did a complete 180. And he's saying, if we don't bring in 600,000 Chinese students, then the universities will collapse. Okay, good. Knock out two birds with one stone. Bankrupt the left-wing universities, keep the Chinese spies out. Isn't that a win-win? Then he goes further. They say, well, how are you America first on immigration when you're bringing in 120,000 H-1B visas? And Trump says, well, we need the talent. She goes, Americans have talent. He goes, no, they don't. They don't have the talent. You think we can pick someone out of an unemployment line and get them to build a missile? So he's telling us the opposite. If the message in 2016 was, we don't want immigrants, they suck, now the message is, we need immigrants, they're better than us. It's an inversion. In 2016, we're going to build a wall. They're bringing drugs, crime, they're rapists, they have problems, they're bringing the problems with us. Americans have dreams too. Remember? And 2 weeks ago, how quickly everybody forgets, he says, no, we need immigrants. We need immigrants because America's a business. We need immigrants. We need their money to support our universities, and we need their skills because we don't have any skills, and our people are useless. Total inversion. And I believe that what has happened is that Trump's poll numbers are in the tanks. He is unpopular, or poll numbers are tanking, I should say. He is deeply unpopular, and he knows that. His own base is in revolt. Among MAGA supporters, even, he's losing support. Self-identified MAGA coalition in the GOP. Marjorie Greene has resigned from Congress. And so I think it is code red in the White House. They realize that they're heading into the midterms and probably they're going to get destroyed. And that's because they've alienated their own voters, their own base.
And this is so true. And 100% sure, I hate to say this, but we will lose the midterms big time. And the only one who is responsible for this himself is Donald Trump. He actually did this himself. So many people are disappointed in Donald Trump because he is just not delivering. He promised us so many things. When is he gonna help the average Americans? When is he gonna lower the cost? When is he gonna build a wall? When is he actually gonna release the Epstein files? Dude, you promised us so many things, but you're just not delivering. And then he is surprised that people, they don't want to vote for him anymore, that people feel betrayed, that people don't trust Donald Trump anymore. Dude, he is responsible for this 100% himself, and I hate to say this again, but the Democrats are gonna win the midterms, 100% sure. I wouldn't even be surprised if the next president is gonna be a Democrat. I hope I'm wrong on this, of course, but the only one who is responsible for this is Donald Trump himself and the Trumpstein administration. But again, I hope we will change this. I hope we can change this, but we have to see. We have to see.
And so what does Trump do? He unleashes the nativist, xenophobic speech on Thanksgiving, and it was received very well. So what does he do? He comes back for seconds, comes back for more. And so today in the meeting, he lets it rip, the same speech. Some are terrible, they stink, and they're garbage, and people eat it up. And it's like I said last night, it's a continuation of what we were talking about yesterday. You can be happy that he said this, and I find it pleasing. I'm glad he said it. It feels good. It's funny. It's true. Is it maybe a meta-political victory to the extent that those are real? I guess that's what this is. But what does it tell us about Trump? It tells us that like he has this in his belly. He still does. He always has. It's like I told you last night. He knows exactly what we want to be told. He knows exactly, therefore, what we want. So what was going on 2 weeks ago when he said we have no talent and we need the Chinese students? What is happening is that we have been compromised. We are being deliberately screwed over. If he knows the whole time that what we want is nativism, but for the past year and a half, he's been giving us everything other than that, what does it tell you? It means he knows that we have a stomach. We have the patience. We're idiots. And so he knows that he can avoid pandering to us. He doesn't need to appease us. He doesn't need to give us concessions. We'll support him anyway. We'll vote for him, and we will defend him, and we will support him. He doesn't need to do or say the things that we want. Why? Why does he make this calculation? Because if he knows that he doesn't need to pander to us and we'll support him anyway, then he can go and tell the donors what they want to hear. And he can go on the All In podcast in Silicon Valley and he can tell them, we're going to staple green cards to diplomas and we need the immigration and we need the workers. And he can deliver on that. And he can have his cake and eat it too. He can give the donors a pro-immigration policy because he knows that his anti-immigration base will support him no matter what. He knows what we want. He knows what we want to hear. He knows what policies we want, but he won't give it to us. He hasn't given it to us for years. He wouldn't talk like this, wouldn't gesture towards this, wouldn't deliver on this because he didn't need to. And that afforded him, it's fungible. The support is fungible. So he takes that political capital, that support that he's getting from his base, and he uses that to go and pander to the donors who will then give him money. And then he enjoys the support and the money for the maximum political position, for the maximal political posture.
Yeah, but I have to be honest, I disagree with Nick on this one, but because this can't continue for any longer, because people are not stupid. Even the MAGA base, I know this. Sometimes I criticize Trump as well, and people, they like roast me in the comments because they say that I'm a Trump hater, this and that, but that's not important for now. What I try to say is that even the biggest MAGA supporters, the fanatics, they are not stupid as well. They also starting to see now slowly, day after day, that they have been tricked, that Donald Trump is not actually doing what they want. So of course you have like a very intense MAGA movement who will always support Trump no matter what, but believe me, the movement is like shrinking day after day because even these people, they feel like they are being betrayed. They have been betrayed by Donald Trump, who is not delivering for them as well. And of course, Donald Trump doesn't care about the average American. I said this multiple times. He only cares about his family, and his biggest donors who give him the money. So I kind of understand the point Nick is trying to make, but I don't agree with the fact that these people will swallow everything because, believe me, we're now almost at a point that even the biggest MAGA fanatics, they won't accept this any longer because they see that this country is not becoming better, but it's maybe only becoming worse with Donald Trump. So I understand what Nick is trying to say, but I don't agree with him on this one. Even the MAGA supporters are not crazy. Don't get this wrong. The MAGA supporters are not crazy.
And I told you that last year. I said last year we need to be loud and vocal and we need to tell Trump that what we want is an immigration moratorium and we're not happy with him and we're not going to vote until we get it. And people said, shut up. Don't say that. We need all hands on deck. We need everybody to vote. And that's exactly what Trump did. He knew he didn't need to pander because people are going to vote no matter what. What he needed was the money, and that was contingent. Well, what happened? Trump got elected. The administration's a disaster. The people are in revolt. And guess what? Wouldn't you know it? Now that there is so much negativity, now that the Groypers have won, now that the Groypers have split the party in half intentionally, now that the Groypers have created a civil war and generated a lot of negativity against the president through our incessant blackpilling and complaining, what does Trump do? Oh, now he delivers. Yes, now that he's threatened with losing support from the base, now that he's threatened with a fissure in the party, now he's going to give us what we actually want, which is rhetoric like this and policy like this. It's almost like I was right the entire time. It's almost like all that positivity and coping and plan trusting was having the opposite of the intended effect. It was affording Trump the political maneuverability to screw over the base as much as possible because you would tolerate it. If you tell the president that you will tolerate and excuse everything and anything, if you tell him that he will get away with everything and anything, then he will. He will get away with it. He will try to get away with as much as he can. He's not going to do things for the base out of a sense of integrity or honor. That's not how politics works. If he can get the support without doing anything, he'll take it for free with both hands. And then he'll go and use political capital to pander to donors to get the money. And he'll be a happy camper because now he has got a sweet deal. He can deliver for the donors and get the money, and he can screw over the voters and still get their votes. It's a beautiful arrangement for him. Very beneficial, very comfortable, and very easy. But I told you last year, I said, this is why we need to be negative. This is why we need to threaten to withhold our support. This is why we need to make it unignorable and visible, because if we do, then Trump will be forced to pander to us. And he knows how to do it. Nobody's better than him. We just need to create the impetus for it. And now that that has happened, like clockwork, what does Trump do? He dusts off the old playbook and we get Trump 2016 all over again. You're welcome. I'll never get any credit for it, but you are welcome for giving you Trump 2016 back. And by the way, does anybody doubt that the only reason we're getting this is because he's unpopular? Does anybody doubt that for even 1 second? This administration's been a nonstop disaster, one catastrophe after the next. All of a sudden, now you're getting this newfound Trump 2016 rhetoric. Timing's amazing. Right on the heels of off your election losses, the Tucker Carlson Civil War, and all the discontent in the party. Now we're getting Trump 2016. You're welcome.
Yeah, now, but it's a little bit too late, right? Because now already so many people lost hope in Donald Trump, and you should ask yourself why. And I can give you the answer, because Donald Trump just lied to all of us. He literally lied in our face. He promised us so many things, and he didn't deliver anything. He's more busy with all these foreign countries, these foreign conflicts, than the problems in our own country. So this is also the reason what I want to make very clear, and excuse me, I just said it in broken English, but the point I try to make and what I said before is, like, Donald Trump cannot trick his voters any longer. I feel like we're almost at a point now that people, even the biggest fanatic supporters of Donald Trump, they're starting to notice now that Donald Trump is just lying towards them. That Donald Trump, that you cannot trust Donald Trump. And again, what I said before as well, the only one who is responsible for this is Donald Trump himself and the Trumpstein administration. Because yes, they only listen, they only care about themselves, I feel like. They only care about their money. Like Donald Trump, just look how much he made in the first year when he became president. I feel like he made billions with his crypto scam as well. Like, it's insane. And this dude, like, he had almost nothing to lose. He is so old already. I really believe that this guy would help our country, that he would be better for us, that he would actually be America first and care about you, care about me, the average Americans who are struggling in this country, because believe me, there are so many people struggling today in this country. It's actually so sad. So I really thought Donald Trump is gonna help us, is gonna solve these problems, but it turns out that he doesn't give an F about you and me, that he just cares about his own wallet, about his own money, about his own family, and about his biggest donors. And this is what makes it such a shame. This is why people are so disappointed. This is why people are so mad, because Donald Trump pictured himself I am different than those other politicians. You can trust me. I am the real guy. You can actually trust me. Vote for me and I will help you. Dude, we all voted for you. You won like in a landslide and still like you even got a popular vote and still you're not doing anything for us. So again, even the people, the biggest MAGA supporters who are also struggling now, everything is crazy expensive, you cannot trick them any longer as well. They're also not stupid. Believe me, sometimes Donald Trump thinks that the average American, that he can play us and trick us and that we are just stupid, dumb, but we will listen no matter what. But no, times are changing. Finally, people are starting to wake up and realizing that we need America first politics, and Donald Trump is not delivering this.
How do you get the politicians to do what you want them to do? Threaten to withhold support. Critique them, attack them, do it from the right. It doesn't matter if you do it from the left. The left is already the enemy. Do it from inside. Do it from within the right wing. That's what they're worried about. And that's the model. Look at how we got Trump to cave in such a short amount of time. And look at how beautifully he delivered. Look at how beautifully he understood the assignment completely. He comes out and says, all these people do is bitch in their hijabs and they're ungrateful and they stink and we don't want them here. I mean, it couldn't be better if you dreamed it up. This is out of the wildest imagination of the most obsequious plan truster, and it was delivered to us on a silver platter because we threatened to withhold our support because we said we don't like Trump anymore. And now this is what we get. It's a desperate bid to get our support back. And he knows what to do. He always has. We just need to give him a reason to play that out. So he goes on this big rant about Somalians, and then he couples that with the new travel ban. This is a story from the New York Times. He put 19 countries on a new travel ban. He's suspending visa applications and green cards and asylum applications from these nearly 20 countries. This is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, the Trump administration has paused immigration applications filed by immigrants from 19 countries. They were restricted from travel to the United States earlier this year, halting green card and U.S. citizenship processing for broad swaths of people, according to agency officials. The pause applies to people from Iran, Sudan, Eritrea, Haiti, Somalia, and others banned by Mr. Trump in June, who are seeking status from U.S. citizenship and immigration services. The list includes some of the poorest and most unstable nations in the world, such as Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Libya, Myanmar, Eritrea, Cuba, Haiti, Chad, Sudan, Yemen, Laos, Somalia, Venezuela, Sierra Leone, Togo, Burundi, Republic of Congo, and Equatorial Guinea. The move deepens the remarkable crackdown on immigration after a shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington. The changes have already choked off many of the United States' remaining legal immigration pathways, but the application pause indicated that the administration is not done. The pause applies to various immigration processes, most consequentially green card applications and U.S. citizenship requests. Immigration lawyers reported cancellation of naturalization ceremonies and interviews for immigration status and said they were left puzzled on Tuesday as immigrants were turned away from interviews for green cards and other forms of relief with no explanation. So far, so good. There's a travel ban on these 19 countries, but there's just one problem. Why these 19 countries? Why? Togo, Turkmenistan, Laos, Myanmar? Who asked for this? So here's my issue. People are going to look at the rant and they're going to look at the travel ban and they're going to say, wow, mission accomplished. They're going to say, wow, Trump is really making a pivot. He's really doing the right thing. And I want to say, so you're glad that Trump shut down immigration from all 19 of the third world countries? We saved America. We have suspended immigration from all 19 of the third world countries. There's obviously far more than just 19 third world countries. There's many third world countries.
Exactly. Like, I completely agree with Nick on this. And look what kind of countries. Like Togo, Laos, like, dude, how many people even arrive in our country from those countries? I feel like that this is just like a super small, like a tiny drop of the immigration we have in our country. So what is this even gonna help? Okay, he said maybe some big country like Afghan or some other countries, but like still, of those 19 countries, so many countries like Eritrea and thing. Okay, Somalia, that's good. But is this actually gonna help the problem we have in our country? I feel like not. This is just again just to show off. Look, I'm listening to you voters. No, you're not, dude. We all know where the biggest migrants come from, and this is not from Togo. This is not from Laos. This is not from like these countries. But and even I am saying this as a legal migrant myself, right? So can you imagine how like the average American, like the real American who has been born and raised here, how they feel about this? Like this is just a show up from Donald Trump. Right? He's like, all right, I will ban those 19 countries. So what? It's not gonna change anything. And why are you doing this now? Why did you not do this 1 year ago? Like it's like the timing. It's so weird. Just those 19 countries. I completely agree with Nick. It's so weird. Why only 19 countries? Why just now? Why did you not do this earlier? And just like, oh, bro, Donald Trump, sorry, but he is becoming such a plant. He is such a plant. I really like this guy. I thought that he could save this country, help this country, but day after day, I just find out that he has just tricked us. He has just tricked us. Like seriously, this guy. He said he was America first, bro. He's America last. You're just a joke. You're like playing with our country, and I hate to see it. We need someone who actually cares about his country, who did this already, like ban this country like on the first day already, instead of doing this now. But again, this is how I feel about it. I'm very curious if you agree with me or disagree with me. But come on, dude. Donald Trump, isn't it like kind of suspicious everything what he is doing now? I don't trust this guy anymore. Like, sorry, man, but I don't trust him anymore.
And by the way, the countries that send us the most immigrants, not one of them is on this list. Not one of them. Number 1 is Mexico, not on the list. Number 2, 3, 4, 5, it's India, China, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, the Philippines, Venezuela. This is where the immigrants are coming from. And out of those countries that are providing by far and away the most illegal immigrants, the most border crossers and asylum seekers, only one of them is on the list, and that's Venezuela. That's it. Not Mexico, not India, not China. Is that not the third world? Not the Philippines, not Vietnam, not Malaysia, not Indonesia, not most of Africa for that matter. Not most of Central and South America. Is that not the third world too? It's not even most of the Middle East. It's a handful of countries. Yemen, Afghanistan, Iran, end of list. Sudan, arguably, end of list. That's it. And so you want to say, what is really going on here? Because what Trump said on Thanksgiving is there would be a total and permanent pause on third world migration. Then he goes out and says, we don't want these people here. We're going to get them out. So then what is this? Travel ban. We're doing this again? I'm old enough to remember the first travel ban concerning 7 countries and then 6. Back in 2017, they said it was a Muslim ban. We're going to ban Muslims from coming here. Remember that? And then it became a 6-country travel ban. Same thing here. We're going to pause all third world immigration, except for from India, China, the Philippines, Mexico, the Northern Triangle, Southern America, or South America. It's just this handful of countries. Half of them don't even give us any immigrants at all. Equatorial Guinea, Togo, Republic of Congo. How many immigrants do they give us? It's not substantial. What about Nigeria? What, we're going to keep taking them from Nigeria? That's not third world. What about Mexico? The Philippines? That's not third world. Pakistan? And yet none of these countries are on the list. And so you see these gestures. You see these speeches, rants, gestures. It seems that that's all this administration can offer. And it gets back to the fundamental point. Why is Trump doing this? Because we don't support him anymore. So what does he do? He panders. But pandering isn't enough either. It's not enough to say we're going to do a third world migration pause. You need to do one. And it's not enough to say we're going to put 19 countries on a travel ban list. There's more than 19 third world countries. It's not good enough. And by the way, we've only had 60 million third world immigrants in 30 years. It's also not good enough to simply stop them from coming here. We need to actually remove them. And so I said this last night and on Alex Jones today, I am waiting for when they're actually serious about removing all the Somalians. Because I think we are all confident. I think on some level in our heart of hearts, we all know that in 4 years, Springfield, Ohio will still be filled with Haitians. Dearborn, Michigan will still be filled with Arabs. Minneapolis, Minnesota will still be filled with Somalians. And so on and so forth. These major cities will all have Venezuelans in them. They'll all have these large immigrant populations. Nothing is going to change, actually. And this is my issue. This is why I view Trump in some ways as an obstacle. It's because he is there to basically suck all the energy out of the room. And so maybe there would be a mandate, maybe there would be energy that could go behind somebody that would say, we're going to round everybody up and ship them home. But what we're getting instead is somebody that's purely saying that, but with no intention of doing it. And if you criticize that person, you get ostracized. Hang on, I got a hair on my tongue. So there's that as well. But if you criticize the president while he's doing this, then you get ostracized from the movement. Think about how this works. Trump campaigns on mass deportations. Trump campaigns gesturing, signaling towards immigration moratorium. He gets elected. What does he do? He hosts Netanyahu 5 times. He bombs Iran, bombs Somalia 100 times, bombs Venezuela. That's what he does.
Yes, and let this be another example of why you can't trust Donald Trump. Literally, what he is doing is completely the opposite as what he promised us. His actions are like different than what he said he would do. And this just shows you that you can't trust this whole Trumpstein administration. It's just a joke. We have been betrayed. And of course, like, I don't want to like hate on Donald Trump the whole time. I wish I could make a different video because people will criticize me for you're such a Trump hater. This is all fine, but you should ask yourself this question. Why are you still defending a guy who lied straight into your face? Because I am done with defending Donald Trump. It turns out that he is not actually America first. I am America first, so then you're gonna criticize me for being America first. I want my tax money to go to this country. I don't want my tax money to go to another country to support foreign wars, to bomb schools and hospitals there. I want my tax money to be spent in this country to build hospitals and schools here. And am I wrong then? Maybe. You can say that this is all fine. But you should also ask yourself this question. Why are you still supporting Donald Trump if it just turns out day after day that he is not actually America first? He doesn't care about you and me. He just cares about himself, his money, his family, his biggest donors. You get the point. I said this before. But literally, stop please. Like, am I the wrong guy that for saying this? Is Nick wrong for saying this? I feel like we are more based and we are more on the right side than Donald Trump. But maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Donald Trump is not America first, and it just people need to like speak out about this because it's very important.
If you go out there and say, I don't support Trump because I didn't vote for this, Mark Levin and Laura Loomer circle the wagons, and they circle Trump and they say, oh, if you're criticizing Trump, you're not MAGA. And then Trump makes these gestures. I'm going to do a travel ban. I've got another cute rant. And people like myself say, well, that's not good enough. And you get people saying, you're not MAGA. You're making perfect the enemy of the good. People say, well, you got to give them slack. I don't have to give them slack. I don't have to give them anything. Are we going to pause all the third world migration or are we not? Because you either do it or you don't. But these half-assed travel bans, this is nothing. They say they're going to send ICE into Minneapolis. I'm not going to hold my breath. How many people are they planning on deporting? 50,000? We need to deport a lot in many cities. We need the National Guard everywhere. We need Border Patrol and CBP everywhere. We need to deport millions of illegal immigrants before this is over, and that isn't happening. And so this is a story I see over and over again, which is Trump is going to go on Truth Social or on Twitter. He's going to come up with a policy like this. And you'd think that people have learned by now. You'd think that people have gotten wise to what's happening, but they're right back on the plantation. And they're right back to talking about how, oh, this is really great stuff. I support Trump. My MAGA hat is back on. And you got to say, why? What has he really done? What's actually changed here? Seriously. And this is what's frustrating. You get to a point, it gets to a point where people are ready to oppose the administration. People are ready to do a protest vote. People are angry. The approval rating's down. And maybe some change is possible. But Trump deftly knows how to manipulate his audience. As he's losing support, he's going to come out with a statement and he's going to get everybody back on side. And then rinse and repeat. The cycle repeats all over again on a 6-month timeline, 9-month timeline. And we're back where we started a year from now, 2 years from now. And I hope I'm wrong. Maybe in 4 years they're going to do it and I'll change my mind and I'll say, you know what? Trump really locked in. He deported millions and it was epic. But I don't think that is what's going to happen. I think Trump is deeply unpopular because he's not delivering. He's going to make a gesture and then he will continue not delivering. And we're going to be mad again. And then he's going to give another speech and then we're going to get mad again. And then he's going to deliver another speech. And that's how I've watched this collapse for 10 years. For 10 years, I've watched this game. In 16 and then in 18 and now and in 2025 or 24 and 25, it's the same story. So here's my prescription. Don't put 19 countries on the travel ban list. Put every country on the... What country do we still need immigrants from? Is there even one? Trump said it himself. The foreign-born population has never been greater. We've got 50 million foreign-born people here. And you think we need more? We need them from India and China? I mean, so either do it or don't do it. You're either going to do a third world immigration pause or you're not. But that's not what this is. And look at what's going to happen. They're going to come out and say, look, we're not going to take immigrants from Togo and Congo and Equatorial Guinea, but we definitely still need 600,000 Chinese students. We definitely need 120,000 H-1B visa Indians. We definitely need all these illegal Hispanics working on farms and in construction because we don't want inflation to go out of control. So if that's the case, then what did we really achieve? And by the way, in a year, 2 years' time, like I said, Springfield still conquered by Haitians, Minneapolis still conquered by Somalians. And what did we do other than waste 4 years? So it's a good start. And people, this is how they get you. People say, you're counter-signaling the moratorium. No, I just wish it were real. If this were real, I would support it, but it's not. They pulled 19 countries out of a hat. They don't even send significant numbers of immigrants. And then they said, we're not going to naturalize your people or give them a visa. Okay. So what's the play then with Somalia? Because unless you're talking about removing all the Somalians from Minnesota, I mean, what are we even talking about then? So I'm not as optimistic as other people. I find it to be incredibly disappointing. Disappointing, but not surprising. This is just what we get from this administration. It's just slop. And I hope you recognize that you're being manipulated. I hope you recognize that that's what this is. This is, by definition, it's chum in the water. Trump knows people are unhappy, so he's throwing bait in the water so the fish will swim up to the surface. It's that simple.
Yeah, but I feel like this is almost with every politician, and this is what makes it so sad, because Donald Trump said that he was actually different than all these other people. I remember that he said, oh, I'm so different than them, you can count on me. And it turns out that we can't count on Donald Trump as well. So I don't know what is wrong with the politics in this country. I don't know why it turns out that it's always the same. And then I'm not surprised that people, they lose hope in the politics. I know a lot of people actually, they don't want to vote anymore because of this reason. Because every time it turns out that they promise us so many things and they are doing completely the opposite, or they're not even listening. They are not even listening to us. And then, who is gonna solve the problems then? Because if Donald Trump could not solve the problems, and he said that he was one of us, who is actually gonna solve the problems then? A Democrat? Come on, I feel like we're almost cooked at this point. Like I don't even have an answer for this question. Who is actually gonna solve the problems in this country? I feel like we can't even count on the politics anymore. I feel like we have to do this ourselves. The American people just have to unite and like solve the problems in this country ourselves, because we can't count on the politics. It just turns out they only care about our money, but they don't care about our feelings. And this is such a shame, because yeah, again, I can say this multiple times, but I just feel tricked, and so many with me, they feel betrayed by Donald Trump. And it's such a shame, because he was different than all those other politicians, excuse me. No, dude, you're exactly the same, maybe even worse, because you only care about your money, your family, your friends, and you don't care about us. And we needed your help. Your family is fine, your donors are fine, they have billions of dollars. We don't have this. We needed your help, and you don't even help us. So it's so sad. It's just so sad.
And it is literally calibrated. It is designed. It's like laser etched so that you hear this stuff and go, MAGA hat back on. I support the movement again. And you shouldn't, because nothing changed fundamentally. And nothing's going to change anytime soon. When things change, that is when you support. When you see the tangible, real victories and policies and support, that's when I'm okay with getting back on board. If Trump did it, if we see 1 million illegals deported next year, I'm on board. If Trump actually restrains Israel and there's no war in Iran, I'm actually going to support. But I'm not going to start supporting because of a tweet. I'm not going to start supporting because of a go-off moment in a cabinet meeting. It's not enough. So it's very transparent what they're trying to play here, but we're going to move on.
Yes, and those are some very good points. And surprise, surprise, it's again spot on. And I completely agree with Nick on this as well. It's just such a shame, because the only thing where we Americans asked for is to put Americans first and to put America first. And it almost looked like this was already too much, that we asked too much to just put ourselves first in our own country. It's such a shame. But again, I'm very curious about your opinion. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you agree with Nick? Do you disagree with Nick? Please share your opinion in the comments. Very important to say, I read all comments, and I even try to like reply to many comments. So please share your opinion. I'm very curious. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you really like this video, consider subscribing. That would even be better. And last but not least, guys, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.